The following portion of Daytime Tri-Cities is sponsored by AFI Advisors. Well, we are excited to be kicking off a new series for the new year here on Daytime Tri-Cities. We are partnering with AFI Advisors to bring you Making Money Manageable. That sounds good, right? Joining us now with more, Peter Raber, president of AFI Advisors. And Peter, great to have you on Daytime.
Good morning. Thank you for having me.
Well, certainly this is kind of perfect timing. A lot of people with the new year setting those financial goals, trying to achieve those financial goals.
No, absolutely. And hopefully, keeping them a little better than most resolutions go throughout the year.
Yes, and of course that always takes a plan, so we're excited to be kind of navigating the new year with you guys. And we talk a little bit about AFI Advisors, and I notice you always say kind of that North Star in the financial world. Right,
so AFI comes from the name, and the A is Aldebaran, which was the ship my dad served on in the Navy. And that ship was named after a star in the sky. And a lot of times in financial things, we need something that's a fixed point, something that can guide us, something that can keep us all in one place and kind of be that constant. So that's a huge part of making sure these goals that we set here in January carry throughout the year, throughout your lifetime, throughout that long time period that we're setting a plan for.
And obviously, speaking of long time, AFI been around a long time. You talked about your dad, family business, locally right here. Tell me a little bit about sort of the background of AFI.
Right, so my dad got out of the Navy, 66 or so, started working on Wall Street, and then has moved his way through the banking system and ended up in Kingsport back in, I guess, 81. And then through bank mergers and whatnot, split off and started his own firm back in 91. So we've been doing this for over 20 years, and I was an office brat from day one, so I've been, every part of the firm I've done at some point.
Yeah, so learning from your dad and then following in his footsteps, and that has to be pretty cool.
No, absolutely. It's fun working in a family business. You get to see the business side of your family plus the personal side, and hopefully, those two collide well. They did for us, and you get to learn from what I feel like was the best. So he had a tremendous reputation in our community, and I don't think anybody did it better, and we just tried to do the exact same thing that he did.
And you said that word, did it better, and I know that's something that you guys really stand behind, is trying to make your clients' lives better, because that's what we all want in the end, right? We want to make it better than we had it the generation before.
Absolutely, and a lot of times people don't know what even that better is, so we try to work through that process so that we can really hone in and then create the plan that works for them, because the plan that works for their friend down the street or their neighbor in a different state probably doesn't apply to their life. So we just try to make things better, and every time we interact with someone or they come in, leave them a little bit better, even if it's just knowing what the plan is better. So that's a big part of what we do.
And I know you guys really believe in building those relationships and nurturing those relationships. As we're setting out on the new year, what are some of the things that you're hoping to bring to our viewers as we kind of look at, managing money?
Right. So a lot of the things that we look at, like I said before, is the mentality behind it, setting those goals up in the first place. But then all the different segments that goes into someone's financial life, whether it is their investments, which is a big part of what we do, their taxes, their, we call them life's loose ends, so those little things like making sure your wills and your trusts are all set up. All the things that have these big scary names that really aren't, if you just boil them down to whatever that next step is, what we can make work for them and what the easiest and simplest path forward is.
Because just in talking, that seems so intimidating for people. You start laying it out, but like you said, I know you guys like to do it differently and taking those sort of baby steps to make sure those relationships are built and taking them kind of along with you on that path.
Right. A lot of times I tell the people that we're working with, if we can answer the question, what does money mean to you? That's the biggest step. And money is going to mean something completely different for me than it does for you. We've had clients who say, I don't want to retire, but I want to be able to take an RV across the country in my 60s. Well, that's one plan. Trying to figure out, hey, I want to retire at 50 versus, 72 or having to work forever. It's just finding the things that work and making sure that it's customized to that person, because what I want to do makes no difference. We got to make sure it's what you want to do and what works for you.
Well, Peter, we are really looking forward to working with you and giving our viewers some great advice as they navigate that money management.
Absolutely.
All right, we'll give everybody your information. Again, we're partnering with AFI Advisors. If you would like to get in touch with them, you can do that. Their office is right there in Kingsport. And for more information, check out their website. Lots of great information on the website, afiadvisors.com. We'll see you next week.
See you next week.
The preceding portion of Daytime Tri-Cities was sponsored by AFI Advisors.